Obviously, with Andy speaking yesterday, he talked about kind of gave us a rundown on the injuries. And I gotta say, JD, I'm still kind of surprised. And as far as some of the injuries here, obviously we know Omenihu who's going to be out for half the season. Jaylen Watson had a labrum surgery after the season was over. But the one I'm still kind of interested in is the Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney was so close to playing in the AFC Championship game, playing in the Super Bowl. It was so close to playing with that pec injury. I mean, and maybe I have a different perspective on it because what you said, how you played with a torn pec, and the fact that it's been 6 months and he's still out right now. So Reid talked about Jaylen Watson, Omenihu, Derrick Nnadi, Joe Thuney starting on the active, physically unable to perform list. All four missed time with injuries during the offseason. Thuney still recovering from the pectoral injury. Omenihu on his way back from the ACL. And yeah, he'll probably be on this. Omenihu will probably start the season out in the PUP. I mean, he'll probably miss at least 6 weeks during the season. Nnadi finished the last season on the IR, and then Watson with the torn labrum surgery that he had shortly after the season was over. Players can return as soon as they pass a physical. Of these injuries, JD, which are you most concerned, and which one are you most, or in which are you most surprised about?
Let me see. You know, the Thuney one is kind of a head scratcher, but I do believe that maybe they just want to be cautious with Thuney, right? Because we don't need him right now. We're not playing tomorrow, next week. And so we talk about September. That's when we need, Joe Thuney. So I have no problem with him sitting out, man. He's earned his stripes. If he want to sit out and take it easy, by all means, he should, right? Until he's good and ready. As long as he's getting like his cardio in, getting his steps down, he's going to be fine. I tell you what, like Omenihu, just looking at some of his tweets, he's saying he's ahead of schedule. So that's kind of surprising. It'd be a great surprise if he comes back before ahead of schedule. As long as he doesn't have any setbacks, right? We're not going to talk about that because we're not going to put that on him. But it'd be great if he came back instead of like maybe week 6, like week 4 or 3 or something, right? I mean, that'd be phenomenal if he was able to do something like that. So that's something we just have to see. Nnadi. So what's the deal with Nnadi right now? What's he dealing with?
He had torn triceps towards the end of last season. So that was the thing right there. And we talk about our D line with Omenihu being out, Bugs being cut. We're kind of slim there. I mean, slim and unknown. A little mysteries there on the D line as far as the young Bucks, what they can provide. But yeah, that's an interesting one. I honestly forgot about Nnadi having the torn triceps.
I did too. So I wouldn't be shocked if you might see maybe week 2 or something. They might try to address this in camp with a different guy coming in, or when the vets, report. We just have to see. But yeah, if you start thinking about it, like you're not trying to wear Chris Jones down. I know you got other guys kind of in place, but man, you're gonna need a guy. I mean, Nnadi's, he's your other starter besides Chris. So, shoot, I think that's something that you had to look at for sure.
And Jaylen Watson, I know it's a big season for him and Joshua Williams as they compete for the number 2 cornerback spot, coming back from the torn labrum, which labrum's a big deal for many positions in the NFL, but cornerbacks as well. No?
Yeah. Well, them jokers ain't gonna be hitting nobody.
That's true.
So you'll see him over with an arm swing, kind of getting his steps and all that down, but he'll be fine. DBs, they prima donnas, man. They ain't gonna be hitting nobody too much. So I wouldn't worry about it as for Watson. So
I will say with there we have depth in that department, so I'm not as worried with the Watson injury. The one I will say, not that I'm worried, it's just talk about the unknown aspect. I would say for me it was probably Joe Thuney's spot because next week or whenever the guys are there, and if he is still not there yet, we might see a rookie step in that spot. We might see a Hunter Norris-Zad being the starting left guard, and we're talking about 2 potential rookies on the left side, JD. That's with Kingsley and then Norzad, if he's not there, that'd be interesting. And that's also, not concerned about, but that's also like, that's interesting. A rookie left side if Thuney's not there. Because the one thing is, if we do have a rookie there, you have Joe Thuney there who can say, hey, like, be the veteran presence on the side. But if we're going to talk about two rooks on the left side, that's interesting.
Yeah, but we talked about our guy coming in, being drafted. We got a drafted free agent. We had on the show. So if they get the reps, that's a good thing for them, right? So anytime you're able to get and come in and go against the ones, we're gonna throw you into the fire. See if you could throw you in the deep end. See if you could swim. So I'm not worried about that at all. Right? We know Thuney's going to be there game one. We know that, and so these guys are just going to get experience, and I think it's good for them to just get that experience while they can, right? And so if you can get him in on that Norzad, like you said, Norzad, getting some reps there, I love it. When they brought out the interior lineman, in the best interior lineman in NFL, and three of the guys on the interior line for the Chiefs was on that list, I was like, oh man, shoot, they're ready to rock and roll. They're ready to rock and roll. So I love it, man. They're just gonna get stronger with the young guys in there.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of the interior linemen that we have come on the show this offseason, a lot of the rooks, and they all seem like they're primed already. I saw McCade out there looking like a beast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. McCade, my boy. Yes, yes.
YB Negative is asking, is labrum hip or shoulder? Labrum is shoulder, YB
Shoulder.
Negative.
Yeah. So I see Wendy talk about where the femur hamstring didn't look great in practice, but he's going to, he's going to make sure it's just probably just kind of, like I said, maintenance on the Wendy. He'll be fine. Like they said, they just want to make sure he's not going to go all out, because he's like, look, man, you haven't done anything during this off-season mini camp. Take it a little easy coming in, but make sure you get your steps and everything else down. I mean, he's a fast car. He's a fast car. So we just want to make sure that we keep that fast car being fast. So
yeah, take it for an easy stroll, a little weekend stroll right now.
Yeah. John Clifford, my brother, good seeing you, my man. Said Chiefs are good at not pushing injuries back too soon. Yeah, that's important. That's important right now, and especially during camp, because you don't need these guys right now. I think it's all about how you manage different ones. Rookies, you could throw them in the fire and see what they could do, okay? And you could push them. Xavier Worthy first round, yeah, take it a little light, but also too, we're gonna try it. We're gonna test it a little bit on certain plays, and then we had to pull you out. But all the other guys, they should be ready to go.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and right now, there's no point in pushing. It's just seeing those names on there, because especially the Nnadi one, I totally forgot about that. So I was like, oh man, like that's I forgot they had that. And then you add in the other defensive line injuries we have. It's like, oh man, okay, so all right, kind of gonna take a notice of that a little bit. And then the Thuney injury, that's one that I guess for me, it's just weird, because we talk about when you had the torn pec, you played that game, you played the next game, you were golden. So now the fact that it wasn't, because they never said it was a partial tear, right? It was a partial tear.
Yeah. So I tore 50% of my pec, and so I still got that big old divot in here, man. And literally, I mean, they thought they had to have surgery. They was just like, look, you make a decision, Jason. Do you want to have surgery? Or do you want to go ahead and put this whole RoboCop, contraption on and then try to play like that? And I was just like, hey, man, let's go ahead and strap this thing up and go with it. So I just didn't feel like going under the knife. I didn't think it was necessary. I do a good job of kind of healing fast. I call my nephew Wolverine, because that's how he heals too. But I don't know, man. I think a lot of it is just kind of, keep people guessing. Really, with Thuney, he's going to be fine, right? He's going to be all right. I have no problems with that whatsoever.
Yeah, because if you and I are thinking like, oh man, our left side could be two rookies, and then what our other NFL teams are thinking too. So yeah, it could be a little bit of gamesmanship with the way to unleash Thuney to let him out there.
Absolutely. So Lego My Ego says, if we the Chiefs got off to a cold start, at what point, what week would y'all start worrying? That's a good question. With this schedule, I don't think they'll be off to a cold start. if they came in, let's just say they lost the first 5 games of the season, that maybe then I'd be like, okay, what's going on? That's the only thing like on my ego, something like that would ever happen and to have some type of concern. But other than that, I don't have concern with these guys at all. Right. And we won't even talk about that right now, man. These guys are the champs, baby. They the champs.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially with what we went through last year, if we were never concerned about the way things were last year, I don't think I'm going to be worried at all. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.